Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We're going to address a profound question. What is the purpose of life if we are all going to die? Death can be a daunting and perplexing topic, often leading us to dark and unsettling thoughts. For many, it's a real puzzle, enigmatic aspect of life that raises profound questions. We might wonder, what is the purpose of life if we are all going to die? This question can be overwhelming, especially when we feel we lack concrete answers. In Islam, however, death is viewed differently. It's not seen as the end, but rather as a significant station along the journey of existence. To illustrate this, think of life as a race. Death would be the finish line of that race. As a Muslim, the focus is not on the finish line itself, but on the results you achieve. You are not competing for material gains or status. Instead, you are striving to maximize the good deeds you perform for the sake of God. Your focus is on how much good you can do while you are in this world. The concern is not about the end of the race, but about the quality of your results. The results you achieve will determine the kind of life you will have in the afterlife. Therefore, you concentrate on producing as many good deeds as possible, knowing that these will shape your experience in the hereafter.
كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة فمن زحزح عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور.
Every soul will have a taste of death, and you will receive your recompense on the day of resurrection. Whoever is swayed from the fire and admitted to paradise has won. The life of this world is merely enjoyment of delusion. According to Islam, life is a test with specific rules and guidance provided by God through the Quran. Once our time on earth is complete, our soul transitions to a place called Barzakh. Barzakh refers to the intermediate state between death and the day of judgment. The term Barzakh comes from the Arabic word Barzakh, which means barrier or partition. This concept represents a transitional phase where the soul resides after death and before the final resurrection and judgment. As mentioned in the Quran,
حتى إذا جاء أحدهم الموت قال رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون.
until when death comes to one of them, he says, "My Lord, send me back, that I may do right in what I have neglected." By no means it's just a word that he utters, and behind them is a barrier until the day they are resurrected. So in Islam, the focus is not on the problem of death itself, because it's considered a transition rather than an end. The emphasis is on being in good terms with God when death occurs. This means believing in God, worshipping Him sincerely, living a life of good deeds, and meeting God with a healed heart. Islam teaches us to pray for a good ending, a life lived in accordance with God's guidance. The real concern for Muslims is not death per se, but rather ending life while still on bad terms with God. This concern is addressed in the Quran.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
O you who believe, revere God with due reverence and do not die except as Muslims. And let's not forget that a Muslim actually means someone who submits his will to God. At the moment of death, the experiences of the soul are significant. Good Muslims, those who ended their life in good terms with God, are greeted by angels who bring them good news and reassurance. These angels are described as comforting and bring a sense of peace, making the soul eager to transition to the next phase. As stated in the Quran,
إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور رحيم.
Surely those who say our Lord is God and then go straight, the angels will descend upon them. Do not fear and do not grieve, but rejoice in the news of the garden which you were promised. We are your allies in this life and in the hereafter, wherein you will have whatever your souls desire, and you will have therein whatever you call for, as hospitality from an all-forgiving, merciful one. One of the noble endings one can hope for is to die as a martyr. In Islamic terminology, a martyr is someone who dies for the sake of God. I understand that this concept has often been misrepresented in Western media, but at its core, it means someone who sacrifices their life for their values, placing them above material concern. For example, defending their homeland from invaders. A martyr death is sometimes marked by visible signs of peace and honor, such as a serene expression or a pleasant fragrance emanating from the body.
ولا تحسبن الذين قتلوا في سبيل الله أمواتا بل أحياء عند ربهم يرزقون فرحين بما آتاهم الله من فضله ويستبشرون بالذين لم يلحقوا بهم من خلفهم ألا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون يستبشرون بنعمة من الله وفضل وأن الله لا يضيع أجر المؤمنين الذين استجابوا لله والرسول من بعد ما أصابهم القرح للذين أحسنوا منهم واتقوا أجر عظيم الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل فانقلبوا بنعمة من الله وفضل لم يمسسهم سوء واتبعوا رضوان الله والله ذو فضل عظيم إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه فلا تخافوهم وخافون إن كنتم مؤمنين.
Do not consider those killed in the cause of God as dead. In fact, they are alive, and their Lord well provided for, delighting in what God has given them out of His grace, and happy for those who have not yet joined them, that they have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. Conversely, those who have ended their life while being on bad terms with God will face a more troubling experience. They will encounter frightening and harsh angels and may wish for more time to correct their deeds and return to earth. Unfortunately, once death occurs, there is no negotiation or additional time to change one's fate. The time is over, and one's actions are final, as described in the Quran.
ولو ترى إذ يتوفى الذين كفروا الملائكة يضربون وجوههم وأدبارهم وذوقوا عذاب الحريق.
In essence, death in Islam is a transition that reflects the state of one's relationship with God at the end of their life. You are given ample time to recognize and worship God, and how you spend that time determines your experience in the hereafter. Thank you for watching. I hope you keep asking